The story of Velcro begins with a dog walk and an observant engineer. In 1941, Swiss engineer George de Mestral returned from a hunting trip in the Alps, annoyed by the burrs clinging stubbornly to his clothes and to his dog's fur. Most would have brushed them off and forgotten, but de Mestral was curious. He took the burrs home, placed them under a microscope, and discovered their secret. Each burr was covered with tiny hooks that latched onto loops in fabric and fur. It was nature's fastening system, perfected over millennia of evolution. De Mestral realized he had stumbled upon a principle with enormous potential. If he could replicate the hook and loop system artificially, he might create a reusable fastener stronger than buttons or zippers, yet easy to open and close. His colleagues laughed at the idea, but de Mestral persisted. For years he experimented, trying to reproduce the microscopic hooks in fabric. It was not easy. The hooks had to be tough enough to hold, but flexible enough to release. After testing countless materials, he settled on nylon, which could be heat-treated into stiff, durable hooks. By the 1950s, de Mestral perfected his invention: 2 strips of nylon. One with tiny hooks, the other with soft loops. Pressed together, they clung tightly. Pulled apart, they released with ease. He named it Velcro, combining velour, velvet, and crochet. Hook. In 1955, he patented his creation, and the world's most famous fastener was born. At first, Velcro was met with skepticism. It looked odd compared to polished buttons or sleek zippers. Fashion houses dismissed it as inelegant, but industries that prized function over form saw its genius. Skiers adopted Velcro for gloves and gear. Medical fields used it for braces and bandages. Most famously, NASA embraced Velcro in the 1960s space program, using it to secure tools, equipment, and even food in zero gravity. Astronauts floating in space could attach objects to Velcro patches instead of letting them drift away. This association with high-tech exploration gave Velcro an image makeover from oddity to innovation. As production improved, Velcro spread into everyday life. Shoes, jackets, backpacks, sports equipment, and children's clothing all adopted the fastener. Its simplicity and reliability made it universal. By the late 20th century, Velcro had become a household name. Used across industries from aerospace to medicine to fashion, its influence was so great that Velcro itself became synonymous with the technology, though the company has fought to keep the name trademarked. The invention also highlighted a new way of thinking about innovation: biomimicry, the practice of looking to nature for design solutions. De Mestral's insight that burrs could inspire technology sparked a movement of engineers studying natural systems. From gecko feet inspiring adhesives to shark skin inspiring swimsuits, Velcro was one of the earliest and most successful examples of this approach, proving that some of humanity's best ideas come not from the lab, but from the forest, the field, and the fur of a dog. Today, Velcro remains a global product, sold in billions of meters annually, and applied in fields de Mestral could never have imagined. From military gear to prosthetics to wearable technology. Yet its story always comes back to that day in the Alps, when an engineer refused to ignore a nuisance and instead saw possibility. Velcro's history reminds us that innovation often begins with curiosity. What most people brush off, a few stop to examine. De Mestral's microscope transformed a burr into a billion-dollar industry, and his dog's fur became the unlikely site of one of the 20th century's greatest inventions.